Their aura is unequal.
Well, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Or whatever. And they told me to make it a little more raspy, and I follow directions.
Their contents are legendary.
Like that little sheet you see is his concept drawing.
Their attitude is embraced. Tune in to one of the most up and rising kaiju-sized groups within our community. So go ahead and watch all of their creative content, including that of the Raw Attitude live interview, where they have special guests ranging from actors, directors, toy creators, artists, and many, many more. You can also find them on multiple of other social media platforms, ranging from Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You could even sit back and watch your favorite classic monster movie and even watch us go through one of the most iconic games on Twitch. Featuring your hosts, Eric Stoll, Adrian Settle, Joe Myers, Samson West, Jordan Adorno. They are the Monsters with Attitude.
Yeah, we are.
Boom, 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 boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episodic episode presented by Monsters with Attitude, the Let's Talk Raw segment. Joining me is only one other person because everybody else sucks and they're not cool like us. We are
flaky.
dedicated to the brand and everything like this. We do it for the brand and for you people out there. So joining me tonight, the one and only Salmon of the West. What is going on?
No, I fixed that. That was funny. Oh, man. Yeah. So, yeah, let's talk Raw. What has been going on since we last were here a week ago? Anybody? Anybody got news? Somebody?
Honestly, I think this was a bigger week than it was the last, at least last week for sure, and maybe even the week before. A lot of cool stuff that kind of came out, kind of dropped and everything. But before we kind of get into that, I just kind of want to highlight some of the live viewers that are joining us tonight. We have a couple normals that are just regulars that we absolutely love. Fanciest of Cats, welcome. And yes, Chelsea Green did win the United States title, which was pretty awesome. I was rooting for her, so I watched that. So awesome. If you're wrestling fans, you know exactly what we're talking about. Also, too, Nathaniel, always great to see you and always on cue. He did have a question here. He goes, "Hi, I got a difficult question for you guys. There are a lot of pretty women in kaiju movies. You ain't lying. Who do you think is the prettiest?" You guys might know my answer. Your picture would probably speak 1,000 words, honestly. But Samson, what do you think is the prettiest woman in a kaiju film?
That's tough because you're right. There are so many.
Mm-hmm.
Is. It spans across many decades and eras, so it's difficult to name. I tell you, the big crush that I had growing up was the female protagonist from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla 2002. I think that's pretty obvious. That's kind of a fair choice. That's one that always stuck in my mind. I don't remember her actual name, but yeah. And especially seeing her during the Godzilla show this year, it's like, wow, she still got it. She still got it.
Absolutely. She is. Yeah, she is a firecracker for sure. I mean, and honestly, why wouldn't she? I mean, she is a well-known model in Japan and stuff like that. So it's kind of her job to kind of stay that way. But I'm going to go with, I'm a little biased, but at the same time, like, I think some will agree with me that I think Tomoko Ai, Katsura, and Terra Mechagodzilla, I'm sorry, but like, and even today, as a older woman, she is still a firecracker, man. I got the pleasure of meeting her twice now, And she is just as lovely and elegant as you would think, because she is so proper and just wonderful to meet. Man, it was, and then maybe that's why, because I've had that opportunity to meet her a couple times now, and she's so great. So I have to go with that. But yeah, it's just, I mean, there's so many options to choose from female characters in these kaiju movies, from Western and Eastern. I mean, take your pick. I mean, they always have somebody that is just fabulous to kind of look at on screen.
Yep. It's not always just about the monsters.
Yeah, no. It's about the eye candy too. Moving on, Oscar, what is going on? Our moderator.
What's up, you simp?
I would squeeze a little lemon on Samson.
You like it sour, do you?
Fancy as of cats, I swear you need to change it to like hyphenate freaking Samson simp or something. I don't know.
I have simps? Weird.
You do, man. You got fans. Monster Kid Corey, what is going on, man?
Welcome back in.
See you again. I stopped you guys. Sorry. I mean, there's just so much to choose from.
That's the problem. It's like, okay, we could either go, okay, my favorite Showa girl, my favorite Heisei girl, my favorite Millennium Ray. It's got some choices.
See, Monster Kid answered Nathaniel's question, and he said Helen Mack from Son of Kong. Ooh, very good choice. She was a firecracker too. And Naomi Watts in Kong 2005. Also a very, very good one. I thought she did a just job for playing Anne. Anne. Is Anne Daryl?
Yeah, 70 or
33?
33, yeah, Anne. Sorry,
yeah.
I was typing as I was talking.
So Faye Ray's character, I thought she did a very good job playing that character, because obviously to me, for a damsel for King Kong, my number one is always Faye Ray. Like I think she is the epitome of the damsel in distress. She stamped that as the trademark kind of thing, but Naomi Watts, her portrayal of that character, she was right under her. I thought she did a tremendous, tremendous job.
Well, if we're talking about Kong damsels, how can we forget Jessica Lange?
No, not me. I'm not on that train at all, man. I'm sorry, but she's all coked out in that whole movie. I'm sorry, man. Okay. She just gave off. She gave off like Captain Sparrow vibes, dude, where she was just all just drunk, like the whole. It was so weird. I couldn't get on board with it.
Okay, fair.
Oh, Fancy of Cat says John Goodman is sexiest man. He's
what kaiju movie was he in? I mean, he is a kaiju of a man, but still.
Not anymore. He's lost a lot of weight.
Used to be.
A lot of weight. Right. He's on that Ozempic diet.
Must be nice to be able to afford that.
Kaiju and women when I was 5. I mean, I can see why. Monster Kid Corey, fun fact, my profile photo is from the Fay Ray fountain in the town nearest to where she was born. Oh, that's awesome. Dude.
Oh, getting a real close-up look now. I can see what that is. It's kind of hard to tell on the tiny screen, but okay.
That's awesome to not know that. And he agrees. He can easily forget Jessica Lange.
All right, fine. I guess I'm in the minority.
Okay, apparently Honest Kong should go to my next, but hey, it's a debate, man. It's a debate, and it's a real one too. So, but yeah, we'll get on with today's show. Thank you everybody for tuning in live, and if you are watching, put a comment in there so we know that you're watching everything, and kind of chat along with us as we talk about some of this news and everything. Like I said, there was a lot of stuff that kind of came out, and we're going to kind of get right into it and whatnot. The first thing I am going to show is I'm going to share my screen here.
Oh,
And something, very personal to some of our hearts and everything like that is the Bandai series. And of course, if you're a active collector now, there's probably some form or way or some time in your life that you have been a collector of Bandai. It could have been your first series. It could have been your first figure. Maybe you just started getting into it, whatever. And they're still pumping out stuff because honestly, there's so much to do it. And they've been of late pumping out some of the iterations of Godzilla that haven't been released yet. And just recently, this last week, they announced that they're doing Godzilla 1994 from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. And that's awesome because honestly, we have nothing whatsoever of 94. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like one of the Heisei suits that gets no love. It's always either 95 or 89 or 91 or even 93 and stuff like that. 92 kind of get more love than 94, honestly. So it was kind of cool to see that they're actually showing some love for the 94. What do you think, Samson?
No, I agree. It's funny that that is one of the things that I did remember, like, oh, wait, no, this is something I can talk about because this is something that I actually have some interest in. I don't know how many of y'all know this. I just kind of actively did it right here on camera, pulling out every Bandai that's on this desk right now and be like, here's one, here's another one, here's one more. 94 is, even though the Heisei is not top tier for me, the 94 suit is still my favorite out of the franchise. I still love the 94 suit, the look of the suit, the proportions. It's great. I think a lot of fans like it without even realizing they like it because all 94 or 95 is 94 with some lava all over him. But this is cool. It's a weird jump for us to go from the 91 that we got semi recently to just boom, straight. Let's skip the gap and just go to 94. We've had that same Heisei sculpt in Bandai forever, and they've just done some minor repaints on the dorsal plates or the body or whatever. They've never really changed the sculpt. It's just the 90s Godzilla figure.
Yeah. So
it's cool. And with it being an anniversary, it makes sense. It's cool that we're going to get something like this for
exactly. Like you just
like,
hit the nail.
It's not Space Godzilla. Sure, that was the new monster for this year, for the anniversary year, one of the fours. The mini fours that we got, 54, 64, 74, 84, 94, all the fours. But yeah, 94. We didn't get any love for 94 Godzilla himself, just Space Godzilla and, well, not even Mogira. So the Godzilla suits. It's exciting. Bandai's coming back. They're spitting just everything they can out now. They're especially just the 6-inch line, MMS. But I'm digging it. It's given a lot of nostalgia personally, because this is what I grew up with as a kid. I was a product of the 90s and early 2000s, so X Plus wasn't here yet, and Bandai was the big thing at the time.
Yep. Yeah, they've definitely been just pumping them out, man, and a lot of it's hit and misses. Like they've hit some really good home runs, and they've missed on some, honestly. Ooh. But then we've also gotten surprises with like the Bagan that came out. We got a Super Mecha, or not Super Mecha,
Super Godzilla
coming out. So that's crazy. That's awesome. Some of the others on top of my head, I'm trying to think that were really kind of like
Cybot.
Cybot, thank you. Cybot came out of nowhere, and that was great. That looks amazing, by the way. I have it. So like but then you have some that just don't hit it where it should be and everything like that. But that's okay. You're gonna have that. But it's finally that we're actually getting something for the anniversary of Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, because it is a 30th anniversary this year. And I know there's a lot of anniversaries this year, and I get it. And it's just kind of left in the dust kind of thing. But we're getting something from it, which would be nice. Obviously we're getting this. We did just get a re-release of the Space Godzilla with basically kind of the same colorway, but just a little bit brighter. Honestly, it was the same look, same sculpt and everything, just kind of reissued it for the MMS line, honestly. And it was a couple months actually. So not too crazy, but yeah, it was still fun to see this. It looks great. So I'll be picking this one up for sure. What about you?
I will try to snag it. I usually get stuff off of. I'm pretty loyal to Showcase Daikaiju since he's in Georgia as well, so it's easy to buy and have it shipped pretty fast out here to me. And it's always awesome working with Sean, and it's just great to have a guy that's local enough to buy from. Yeah, I definitely would love to. I have the 91 that came out. God, how long is it? Was it just last year, or has it been a couple years? The 91 that came out, the Bandai.
Couple years actually. I think
it's been a couple.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years. So,
and that's a pretty damn good sculpt. They reissued that with a slightly different paint scheme to make it more accurate, I believe. But still, it's cool that we're getting some 90s love with just a slight variation of sculpts, but it's still there. You can tell. Looking at that, it's like, oh, cool. That's 94. That looks a little different from the 91 that we just got.
Yep.
Just enough to make a difference and to stand out.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and that's what matters.
I'm excited. Bandai is they're taking ass and kicking names, man.
Yeah. Kid Corey was talking about the Bandai MMS Goji Band figures, which are great too. They need to make more of those because they have so many characters in that little show, and they've only done 5 figures so far from it. So hopefully they kind of do a run where they start releasing a lot of these guys and everything like that. Because there's some really cool ones like old man Hidora with the cane and the little Hidora. Like that's gold. I'm sorry, even though I hate Hidora, but I think that's just so super super cool and unique and just different. So yeah, exactly. Monster Kid Corey, call it out. Where's Grandpa Hido? Erica, the Batangos, Tail, all that stuff. Like it's so weird. It's for kids and everything. And it's just a crazy little TV show that they got going or a YouTube show, I guess you could say. I don't know. But yeah, lots of crazy stuff. Yeah, they even have the Gigan sexy mom.
Wait, what now?
Oh, yes, for sure, man. For sure. I
don't actually follow the Gojiban stuff at all.
Oh, really?
At all. No, I know it's bizarre. Just it's the proportions and the giant eyeballs. I know it's supposed to have that kiddish appeal, but there's nothing attractive about it for me. It's just it's odd. It's very odd.
I'm going to.
But for people that like it, that's cool, man. Everybody can have their. I'm not going to yuck your yum, as I like to say.
There you go. Okay, I'm going to share a screenshot of they call it like the Gigan family, and this is what they look like.
Okay. Okay.
So
bottom right-hand corner.
Yep, that's normal. And then I believe the one in the way back, the pinkish one, is the mom with the big set of on her, and then it looks like the sister to the right of her, and then you have like little baby sister, and then maybe brother or dad above normal guy again. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
some of these I don't know about, but yeah.
What in the world? Okay, sure. I'm not gonna go down that fan. No, I'm not gonna go down that road.
Yeah, he does not. And yeah, that's what I'm showing him. Hot older sister. So the one by the mom is a sister. So
I figured it's the classic sitcom family. You got the adolescent son, the hot teenage daughter, the little bratty toddler, and then the mom and dad.
Yeah.
I heard a bloop.
Absolutely.
Well.
Whoa! Somebody snuck away from the birthday party.
Surprise! No, we ended up actually wrapping it up a little earlier than we anticipated. We hung out the whole day. So, shout out to my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. Not that she's watching this, but if she does,
well, happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Mama Joe.
Yep. Happy birthday, Mom Jojo.
Yeah. How are you guys? What's going on? What I missed?
Well. I should probably take this smut off the screen because
that's it. I will even
Samson's drooling at the mouth here for this Gigan family. So
I was gonna say some of this looks like some weird hentai porn from the 90s or something. Like
I was just showing I was just showing Samson the Goji Band family of Gigans and stuff like that, because Monster Kid Corey talked about the sexy Gigan mom and everything. So I had to pull up a screen of what they all look like. I only knew about a couple of these. I didn't know about the sister and the little sister and maybe the dad or brother. I don't know what that other one is. So
you know what this picture? I've seen this picture because I haven't actually. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't actually watched Gojiban.
I've watched a couple.
Yeah,
I just was saying I have not gone down that road.
But but I've seen this picture before, and for those of you Power Rangers or Sentai fans, this family of Gigans always reminds me of the Machine Empire from Power Rangers Zeo.
Oh God, yeah.
So where it's like the dad, it has the mom, it has like the little kid, like it reminds me of the Royal House of Gadgetry, and it's
God.
Every time when I first saw it, I honestly, like at quick glance, I was like, oh, did somebody make like a Gigan version of the Machine Empire? That's just what it reminds me of. So
that's so funny. Yeah, and that family was like your typical like American family. Honestly, it was the little bratty kid that was always
like
asking for things. Yeah,
like Roseanne in machine form, the big fat dad, and
yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Catching. Oh, go ahead, Samson.
No, I was gonna say you've only missed out on one topic that we've talked about thus far, so we can just revisit it quickly.
Sure. Yeah, I was just gonna say that to catch you up, Joe. We were just talking about kind of one of the first releases that was announced this week. I will re-show that for you, and it is the 1994 Bandai. So, what was your thoughts about this?
Excited, but also not like over the moon, because I kind of feel like the normal Heisei Godzilla Bandais that we've gotten in the past are, to me this is just kind of like a little bit of an updated version. I've kind of always felt like the Heisei Bandai that we had already kind of was the 94 or 93 or 92, whatever, kind of pick your poison type of thing a little bit.
Yeah, basically.
But do you guys feel like one thing, like it looks like the waist is kind of elongated, doesn't it?
Like stretched.
Yeah, like it almost looks like his stomach looks stretched up or something. But right, yes, yeah, like the normal Heisei Bandai always just kind of struck me as the 94, and I kind of feel like the 94 is like a weird year to kind of do, because I feel like 92 Godzilla and Mothra, the Battle for Earth, that one has a little bit of a difference to it, to where it could stand out a little bit more than some of the ones we've already got. But but whatever, I mean, hey, more Godzilla is best Godzilla, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, we were referencing because the last one that we got before this, technically in the 90s, is the 91. That was the last sculpt that we got technically, and it's good. It's a good one, and you can definitely see the difference between what's on screen now and what I have in my hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just neat that we're getting some love. I mentioned to Eric how we didn't get any 94 Godzilla love this entire year, and it's one of his. It's just because it's Space Godzilla's anniversary doesn't mean it's not that suit's anniversary as well. Right. They didn't have any reference to the Godzilla itself. So this is a small, but still effective and nice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Oh God, I have too many Bandais on the desk. I can't put them anywhere. Shit.
And then, Nathaniel Plummer asked us a question early on the show. Me and Samson already answered it. I'll have you answer it too.
All right.
But he was asking, there's a lot of pretty women in kaiju movies. Who do you think is the prettiest to you?
Who's the prettiest? Oh, you got a pretty
who you got a thing for?
In kaiju movies. So does that include like Kong, Gorgo, like everything?
You use Western and Eastern, whatever, kind of pull them all up. And who do you think
We did
is one of
both.
your favorites. Yeah, we did both.
Man,
There's
See,
a
same
lot
thing with
out
us.
there.
We were
Yeah,
like,
there
how do
is.
you
I
narrow
mean,
it
like,
down.
there's a lot, right? Like Miss Namikawa, she was definitely a cutie back in the day. Moko
how come I
Ai,
didn't
she was
even
a cutie. Even Megumi Odaka, and when she was younger, she was cute.
Yeah.
I really, and I don't remember her name. I mean, so huge fan of Jessica Lange. She was in Kong. Those whatever, man. Hey, so
I was the one that said that, and everybody else was like, "That coked out bitch, are you kidding me?"
See?
No, dude,
I was like, what?
My wife's a big fan of American Horror Story, and Jessica Lange was in like the first 5 or 6 seasons or whatever. But she's like old, right? She's like 80. And I would tell my wife, I'd be like, I don't care, man. Like, I would still like mount that. And she's like, you're disgusting. I'm like, no, man, she still got it. For an old bitch, she still got it. Anyways,
75.
I also am a big fan of the main chick, or actually the 2 chicks in Final Wars. The reporter and like the scientist.
Yeah, actually.
And then I forget her name, but is it Noriko and -1?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
she's real pretty. So
she is a babe.
Yeah. So, but bullet to the or gun to the head. I had to pick just one. I'm gonna go with the doctor, the scientist from Final Wars. She was a babe.
Okay, the younger one.
Yeah. But I mean, she was also like a model, like a lingerie model or something, right? So, like, of course,
she was okay. To the internet I go.
Oh my god.
She was some kind of model, if I remember correctly, before she became an actor. I think that was her, anyways. But yeah.
So you
speaking of models, you skipped one.
Who?
He missed one. I said, speaking of models, out of all the ones that were named, he didn't name my choice.
Oh, gotcha.
Who? Well. So I was also going to say, how could we forget like Elizabeth Olsen in 2014? She's hot. Scarlet Witch.
Actually, you're not. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I feel weird saying Millie Bobby Brown because she's only now like 18.
She's like
she's definitely become a beautiful woman now. But yeah.
What if you had to go
Brie Larson from Kong, Skull Island?
Let's just do Kongs now.
Oh, Jessica Lange.
We kind of went on a tangent after we did that. We kind of started talking about the Kong women and stuff like that. So who would you pick like your first Kong?
Jessica Lange.
Okay.
I would. I would tear that shit up. Yes.
I
would let her step on my face.
No doubt about it.
And that's me putting it G-rated. Yes.
Well, what I would say, you skipped over Godzilla against Mechagodzilla 2002. That's the pilot of the. That was my choice. That was my crush as a kid for sure.
Yeah. What do you mean as a kid? How old were you in 2002?
11.
Oh my god, I'm old.
Leslie says the Project T scientist lady in space Godzilla can get it.
Yeah, Samson, you're not wrong. She was definitely a cutie too, for sure.
Oh, because
a lot of very beautiful women in the Godzilla franchise, for sure.
That's what we were saying. Yep, there's a lot of them
in sci-fi in general, right? That's kind of like a staple. Like you got to have a sexy, beautiful woman.
You got to keep the boys entertained somehow. I mean, it can't just be giant monsters and fighting.
Monsterverse is great for weirdly hot, unattractive women. Dude, for real.
Weirdly
hot. They are not attractive, but yet sexy at the same time.
Yeah, they just kind of hit that nerve, I guess.
Yes.
Well, except for that boy cut from Godzilla X Kong.
Oh
What's her
yeah,
face?
why
did she?
like the pantsuit look? Yeah, no, like knock that off.
The native girl and son of Godzilla, Beverly Mada.
Is that her name?
Yeah, absolutely.
A very white name for a.
She could tiki my bra anytime. Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the topics as well.
Yeah, we were going on a tangent. Sorry. We'll go back to
in case all of our fans and listeners haven't realized, we're all chauvinistic pig men, and
well, we got baited into that one by the comments. But
yeah, that was Nathaniel's fault. That was Nathaniel's fault.
Chat.
That's a good question. I love it when the chat asks us random questions and we go off on a tangent. I think that's actually
absolutely
some of the best shows.
And that's what that's what this kind of show is for, honestly. So okay, let's gonna grab this. Just gonna load it up here.
Yeah, what is next? What can we talk about again?
Yeah, let's talk about our next kind of reveal or what has kind of been announced.
As I told you at the beginning, I learned stuff from you guys technically, so this is new for me.
We kind of talked about this a little bit in past shows, but obviously we kind of all know that Godzilla and Kong had a crossover with the Justice League recently in this last year. It was, I believe, a very good comic. I think it was a very popular selling comic and everything, because they're also making another run this coming year in 2025. We're doing another run with Godzilla and Kong versus the Justice League. So what Macfarlane Toys, if you don't know who Macfarlane Toys are, they're very well known for the Spawn franchise, and they make all the Spawn figures and stuff like that. They've done other superhero figures and lines and stuff like that. They're kind of all over the place, but they're really started and known for the Spawn franchise. So Macfarlane Toys is going to be responsible for making toys based off of that comic run. And their first release is going to be a mashup with Kong and Batman together. So they plan on doing other ones. They said that themselves. Todd McFarlane himself has said that they're doing multiple releases in this line and stuff like that. So this is the first of hopefully many, honestly, because I would love to see more. But so it looks like you're getting your typical 6-inch action figure of Batman. And then you get a oversized, obviously, Kong, which is, I don't know, what, 9 inches maybe or so. I'm not really sure. And then, but you also get another Batman who is scaled down to make it look like Kong is gigantic size compared to him. So that's kind of cool. And then you get 2 heads. You get a roaring head and you get the non-roaring head kind of thing. So, but yeah, what do you guys think of this?
Unique, different. It's an interesting mashup crossover for sure, because you got one of the greatest goats of all time, Batman, and then the more up and coming goat ? With Legendary's Kong. I guess people like him for some reason. It seems a little out of scale, even with the smaller Batman, because I mean, if Kong is supposed to be about the same size as the legendary Godzilla, that's more like 1930s Kong size, with him being able to hold Batman in his hand like that. But still, it's a cool, unique set. I'd be interested to see what the Godzilla set's going to be. I'm assuming they'll probably pair him up with Superman.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Probably Superman and Godzilla and Lex Luger and either the Mega Skullcrawler or Mecha Godzilla.
Yep.
Have you read this comic, Samson?
No, I've never really gone down the comic book road, I guess, technically. So no, I'm unfamiliar. It's interesting that this crossover exists, because how did Legendary and DC partner up to? I mean, I guess, does Legendary put out a lot of DC stuff, especially animated movies and TV series?
So Legendary has a partnership with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owns DC.
That's true. Okay, that makes sense.
Which, keep that in mind, what I just said, for later. Because there's a snippet of news I will bring up that it was a little bit shocking for that reason. Exactly.
Okay. Now you got me. You hooked, line, and sinkered me here. I'm trying to. I have no idea what you're about to say, but I want to know.
Eric, you know what I'm going to say. Do you have that as a snippet for later, or do you just want me to say it now?
Sorry, what did you say?
When I was explaining the Legendary and Warner Brothers have a partnership, Warner Brothers owns DC, and I said it kind of surprises me for a news thing that I was going to bring up that was just announced, but I didn't know if you had a snippet for that. If you do, I will wait.
We were gonna talk about that later. Yep.
All right, I will wait then.
Okay. But yeah, even Monster Kid Corey was suggesting Superman and Godzilla, and Lex Luthor and Mechagodzilla. So yeah,
it makes sense.
I just think it'd be cool. It'd be cool.
Kong being a kaiju being without any superpowers, and Batman being a superhero without any superpowers. Godzilla with his atomic breath and everything, and then Superman with all of his strength and stuff. It's a good parallel for it to be like that. But this is different, unique. I guess it's something for everyone now. You got your superhero / kaiju mashup stuff for both fandoms.
But like, at the same time, like, we've kind of been discussing this last couple of weeks, like, but how cool is it that we are getting Godzilla matching up with Superman and Batman? I mean, we are getting Godzilla matching up with other franchises. We're getting toys of them now. Like, who would have thought 15 years ago we were ever going to say Godzilla and Kong are going to have a comic book run with the Justice League or any other superhero? Sure as hell wasn't me, because we weren't getting jack shit. And now, like, it is coming out of every hole in our body, every orifice, everything, because we're just getting hit left and right in all corners, all directions of just Godzilla, Kong, kaiju stuff here. My God, I just saw a commercial from Stanley, the company that makes Stanley's, okay? Literally did a commercial based off of a kaiju. What?
I have not seen this one yet, I guess.
Like, it's so crazy to me that pop culture has absorbed the kaiju idea and is basically running with it and embracing it and really kind of throwing it out there and putting more of a popularity on that word, on the characters, everything that it has to do and everything like that. It's absolutely insane. I mean, come on. We have to sit back. Yeah, we have to sit back and realize what's taking effect right now with kaiju genre as a whole, and really just like think about it, about how it's transformed, how much of a popularity it's become, all of this stuff. Instead of just looking at the negatives, look at like how much more popular it's becoming, how more fans are getting into it, how these other companies are wanting to be a part of it and a piece of it and everything like that. Like, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
Well, look at the even in like the second Suicide Squad with Starro, and they're like, "Oh, we got a kaiju-sized threat." You know? They're using the word kaiju in kids' cartoons and other movies and references. It is truly broken through into that, DC, Marvel, pantheon, Star Wars of like movie pop culture references, which I will say I feel like Godzilla's kind of been there for a long time. Because I mean, look at Austin Powers, where they're running away from yes, where they're running away from that parade float, and it's Godzilla. Well, it's not Godzilla because of license issues or whatever, but still, we should run like it is Godzilla, like, so Godzilla's been there, but now I feel like he's been there in an even bigger way. And same with Kong. there's always been those analogies or whatever of the damsel in distress and Kong on the Empire State Building and what have you. But it just seems where it's not just few and far between anymore. It's truly exploded into something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly,
ooh, that's cool.
This matchup of figures is a testament to that, because Godzilla teamed up with Marvel 50 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I was going to mention that.
We didn't get figures out of it. This time, this just goes to show the success of the MonsterVerse, because not only are there movies making money, but their licensing and tie-ins are making money. Whether it's the Playmate toys, whether it's the comics, whether it's the the apparel, and now we're getting figures based off stuff that happened in a comic. So yeah, the MonsterVerse is strong right now.
Yeah, we really do need to thank the Western. I mean, the West kind of resurrected kaiju in a sense back in 2013 with Pacific Rim. That definitely made people excited for 2014 and onwards. And now it's, I go to Walmart because my grandmother works there, and there's always Godzilla stuff. There's always Godzilla stuff in the toy. I mean, it's always in the aisle. It's always stocked. There's always something different there, which is kind of upsetting because I'm like, why aren't people buying this as much as I am? But it's always there. So it's really cool. It's such a big franchise, in our opinion, is just, it's readily available at Walmart, Target, just big stores.
We've had Godzilla stuff consistently in stores for 10 years now. That's pretty impressive. If you include the 2014 merchandise, Bandai creation, or whatever, the Playmates, the Jack Pacific, it's an impressive run so far. Not many other franchises can say they've been on the shelves for 10 years straight. And I agree with you. We got to give credit to Pacific Rim, but I also think we should step back even further and give credit to some smaller movies like Cloverfield, for kind of because I remember sitting in the theater when there we go. I agree. I remember sitting in the theater when that first Cloverfield teaser hit with the Statue of Liberty, and I was with a bunch of friends and our girlfriends at the time and stuff, and the whole theater was like, "Oh my gosh, like what is that?" And like one person down in the corner was like, "Is that a new Godzilla?" And then the whole theater was like, "Is that Godzilla? Is that a new Godzilla?" And of course, like all my friends and everybody turned to me and they were like, "Is that a new Godzilla?" And I was like, "It kind of seems like it might be, because around that time we had started to hear the rumblings of the 3D to the Max, that Yoshimitsu Banno film. So I was like, maybe they were further along than what we thought. But
the marketing behind Cloverfield was incredible. It was a year of guessing and wondering and keeping everybody on their toes. And then when it finally came out, I mean, everybody for the longest time was like, this is a sequel to 98 Godzilla. That's what it's going to be. They dissected the hell out of these teaser trailers just to try to figure out what it was. I remember very vividly being part of that group, just trying to figure it out as well. And going through MySpace, Jesus Christ, MySpace, going through MySpace and just all my friend groups. It was a big deal. Cloverfield actually had a lot more impact than people realize. Even though it turned out to be the monster that it was incredible marketing, and it was a unique kaiju film. I guess it could be called a kaiju film, American kaiju film.
It's funny because I would categorize Cloverfield in the same category as Godzilla 98. It was a big film. It re-brought back the character, or the kaiju, in a sense, and it kind of tried to jumpstart that franchise, but it didn't quite work. It got people talking about it and kind of got excited and everything like that and interested, but it never brought it to life. And that's why I think a lot of us, say Pacific Rim / 2014 is the one that really brought everything to life and really kind of just burst through your chest like, this is what it is. Everybody's on board with it.
Mhm.
This is what we want. We love it here in the West and everything like that. Let's keep going. But yes, I agree. Give credit to those other ones that kind of were before it, were tried to kind of jumpstart and get it going, but it just didn't have enough oomph behind it and everything like that. But you know, we do have to give, as much as a lot of us don't like 98 and we don't like calling them Godzilla because it's just not what our take on Godzilla is and everything like that. I'm one of them. But you got to give credit where credit is due, where it did try to start something, and you know, it just didn't pan out the way, you know, they wanted to or whatever, but it did put that blip on the radar where it's like, oh, okay, I see you there. It's not quite there. It's not there all the time beeping, but it's there kind of thing. So
basically, brought the name back.
Basically, they may not have been the wildfire that the Monsterverse and everything is, but they were maybe the sparks that slowly lit that flame, which I agree with 1,000%. But I saw on here too, Nathaniel brought up Transformers, and while I don't think Transformers should be considered kaiju by any sense, but I think that the success of those initial films definitely helped open the door to just franchises in general getting a shot at the big screen. Because I don't know if a Transformers made in 1995 would have worked, but made in 2007 did work. So I think it opened the door at least. So, I'll give it that.
It did. There were many different properties that got brought to life again. Like we had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. Yep. They exist. Some of us may not like that they exist, but they exist. They revamped Power Rangers in 2017, 2018, that Power Rangers film. Yep. So they're trying to bring intellectual properties back to life. G.I. Joe, that's right. They did do some G.I. Joe movies, didn't they?
Yep. And I mean,
Willis isn't one of them, so I need to see it.
Even look at the 2007 Transformers. I mean, that was before Iron Man. Iron Man was 2008.
That is true.
Now, granted, that was already the Jon Favreau and all them were kind of already in their writing room, planning. Yeah. The Infinity Saga per se, or loosely.
Yeah, he was in Daredevil in 2004. So we kind of had Marvel stuff anyways, but
yeah.
I think just like the idea of like bigger things kind of was starting to kind of get on a roll and stuff like that. Like you mentioned, the Turtles. They were not just normal fucking turtles, dude. They were like 10 feet tall turtles. Like they were huge.
Right.
Then you have giant robots with the Transformers and stuff like that. So like as you think about that stuff, everything became bigger and upscaled and bigger and stuff like that. Then 2013, you got Jaegers, which are giant sized robots and stuff like that. So it's like you can just kind of see like that trend kind of started where everything was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and people were kind of on board with it.
What do you guys think of what Leslie's saying here?
I was gonna disagree. Because even though we don't like the film, that did have it was huge. The marketing was huge behind that. Taco Bell had they were the ones that had the rights to it. Like there was a commercial with the little Taco Bell dog in the streets with Godzilla. I think like does the foot thing over him just like he did with the camera guy. So they had the little toys, and I mean the commercials, the Trendmaster figures, the Toys R Us. It was all over the place. Godzilla 98 had the marketing was bigger than the movie ever was, honestly. But actually, I don't remember what the blockbuster or the box office was for 98.
It was like 378, I believe.
It was. I mean, what he's saying is that I don't think people give enough credit for how much marketing they put into the 98 film.
Yeah.
And I agree because they put a lot into it. I mean, it was everywhere. Like once that like trailer kind of came out where he crashed through like the top of that museum and crushed the dinosaur and everything, I flipped a gasket, dude. I was like, oh my God, there's a Godzilla movie coming out. Holy shit. And then after that, it was plastered everywhere and stuff like that. They really amped up, towards the end and stuff. So yeah, like it was probably the most money they've ever spent on advertising for a Godzilla film in general, or probably even a kaiju film, honestly, in general.
Yeah, if you live through it, you know.
Do you guys remember the very first teaser ever for 98?
It wasn't the foot through the museum crushing the T-Rex?
I could be wrong, but if my memory serves me correctly, that was the second one. The first one was shown on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and now all of you younger people are going to be like, who?
Who's
Jay Leno?
Yeah.
Jay Leno was the host of the Tonight Show before Jimmy Fallon, and back when it was good. And again, this is one of those things where people are like, who gives a shit? Back in the day, the Tonight Show, David Letterman and all that stuff, those were huge marketing tools for movies and TV show and things like that. Like back in the day, like their audiences were huge. Like now, like they maybe get 1 million or 2 people. Back then it was probably 20 million people a night, 30 million people a night or something like that. So anyways, it was shown on the Tonight Show, and it was right before, it was actually probably right around this time of December 1997.
I found it.
And it's in New York City, the countdown, and it's all like, new year, new beginning, and it's everybody at Times Square where the ball drops, and then it's 10 and you hear boom, 9, boom, 8, boom, and then when the ball hits 0, you hear like this roar, and this tail comes through and knocks the ball off, and all the people go running, and it cuts to black, and then it's the green Godzilla. And I remember I watched that because my mom always watched the Tonight Show, and I was watching with her that night. I jumped, and this is like 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 for a little kid that's 9 years old or whatever at the time. I was like running around oh my god, there's a new Godzilla movie. Yeah, it was that was intense. If you ever have a chance to look it up, I mean, now it's kind of
it's on YouTube. I'm looking at it right now. The quality is terrible because I mean, come on, it was the 90s.
Yeah, we did.
But
exactly.
it's right there. I remember that now too. Just seeing the thumbnail, and I clicked on it without the audio.
If you get a chance, Eric, watch it. It's good. It's a great. It's what teasers used to be. It's just hey, this is what we're doing. You have to go watch the movie to find out the rest.
Yep.
Yeah, it came out of left field with that one. It was like, oh look, it's just some New Year's Eve commercial. Wait, what?
Yeah. What is that? Yeah, I always like that stuff.
All right, I gotta go take something out of the oven.
Yep,
right.
Go ahead.
I agree actually with what Leslie said. Like that the 98 doesn't get the love and respect that it deserves for that reason alone. The movie may have failed, but that marketing I don't remember a movie having marketing like that prior to.
No.
So, like, to me, 98 paved the way for the promotion and marketing that we get in other movies today.
Yeah. I was 13. I was 13. I was at that
Monster Kid. We should call you Monster Geriatric Old Timer, Corey. You were 20. How's the nursing home? I'm just kidding. That's because you don't know movies before that. Yeah. I don't remember a movie promotional ever being that heavy. I think there was decent amounts for like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but I don't remember like a promotional or marketing that heavy where like you walk down the street and his jaw's as big as this bus, his eye is the size of this sign,
I would say probably Tim Burton's Batman were just as big. The first one and then Return. Like I think those two got a lot of stuff too. just because obviously we hadn't seen it in forever and everything like that, since the Adam West series and stuff. So I would put those there, but obviously since then, obviously I don't think so. But then again, maybe there was, because obviously this is something that I was into and intrigued for and wanted to see. So maybe that's why I remember that you just kind of saw it everywhere and stuff like that. Besides other things, I just didn't really pay attention. So
I think we can both. Well, I don't remember the Batman marketing, but you're also like significantly older than I am, Eric.
Significantly, yeah. All right.
So, but I think we can all agree that the marketing of, because I just saw somebody say something about 2014.
So yeah, Corey agrees Batman. Okay. Then he said the Star Wars prequels. That was another big one.
Yeah, but the Star Wars prequels were after 98. I'm saying I think 98 jump started it to where it like, but I think one thing we can agree on the 98 and 2014 is that both of their marketings were excellent. It's just that maybe they were both not the films that a lot of people wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Posters, commercial, Happy Meals, everything. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I can't remember the last. Now, granted, I mean, I don't really pay attention to Happy Meals, but I can't remember the last time I saw like go get your toy now at, exclusive toy and a Happy Meal,
Yeah.
It kind of seems like that's dying out, the whole Happy Meals phase with the getting figures and toys. And I remember the little Sega video games that you could get at McDonald's, and they were just very, very, very basic. But they were little Sega replicas, like a little Sonic little game, a little Kirby, a little something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Leslie had another quick question. Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all believe that American interpretations of Godzilla, Hanna-Barbera, 98, Cartoon 98, Monsterverse, the proper appreciation from old school fans or fans in general? I think we have beaten this question to death.
I think Leslie's trying to find new ways to ask us this question to get us all.
God, how many times has this question come to fruition?
This is a definite no. They hate the new stuff, and they only want the old stuff, and that's just how they're built, and that's just kind of, you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing, or they just don't want to learn because they're old and stubborn. It is what it is. That's the kind of person they are. They don't see what this kind of stuff can do for the overall franchise, and look at the positive. They're only looking at the negative kind of things. So yeah, I mean, that we've talked extensively about this, about how just certain fans, especially older ones, just don't see it the way the younger fans do. And it's sad, but it's like you would think we could have conversations about it and be on equal ground and everything, and just kind of, you tell your side, I tell my side. We can still be friends after it, and we understand and whatever, and we have differences because we are people, and that's just how we're built. But sometimes you just can't have that, and everything like that. And you're gonna have, butting of the heads and whatnot. But it is what it is.
You can't make boomers like anything.
I have a question for Leslie. Leslie, is there somebody specifically that you could mention? Because if there is, maybe we could do research and better address this. I just
maybe we'll just get rid of that question.
No, there's more than one, and we know that. There's definitely
it's
a handful of people that just don't like. And you know what? It's fine that you don't like the MonsterVerse. That's okay.
Absolutely.
I just don't agree with the people that you collect Bandai. Well, I collect X Plus. Like, okay, and cool, I collect everything.
I'm into the hobby. Fuck you, man. Yeah,
exactly. Like, I don't.
This was the 80s.
Yeah, I've never showboated that I collect X Plus, but it is pretty cool.
That's another thing that's missing a lot with movies. There's no more like cartoon tie-ins.
True.
The last
Godzilla the series, Men in Black the series.
Yeah, the last thing of more recent memory is there is an animated kids show tied into Jurassic Park. It's called Camp Cretaceous, and it's on,
That's true.
It's on Netflix. But other than that, I mean, they are few and far between. Because I mean, we did get Pacific Rim Into the Black, but
which is I think was good.
It was very good. However,
where's that at?
Netflix.
Oh,
but
crap.
That, I don't know if that was necessarily geared as like a kid tie-in, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, like back in
more adult anime.
Yeah, hell, even do you guys remember the movie in the 90s called Evolution with David Duchovny?
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Like, that had a TV show. There was a
Ghostbusters. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a Ghostbusters TV show. Like
Ghostbusters, yep.
There was a Beetlejuice cartoon. There was, yes, I freaking love Evolution.
As a major fan of the X-Files, it's one of my second loves. It's one of the IPs that I love to death. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically Mulder again, but in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie's great. If y'all don't know what this is, it's a great, I mean, look who all's in it. You got David Duchovny,
Orlando Jordan.
Oh my God. Orlando Jones, there it is. Sean William Scott from the American Pie movies, and of course, Juliana Moore. Like Academy Award winner is in this.
Dan Aykroyd's in it as like the governor.
That's right. He's the mayor, the president, the
mayor,
something,
governor, or something.
Mm-hmm. It's a good laugh out loud. It's corny, but it's good. When was this made? Was it 90s or 2000?
I mean, you're not wrong. It's literally this. You could take every era, and you're gonna have good ones, and you're gonna have terrible ones. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that one era is worse than the other. It's just how it is.
For every Monster Zero, we get Terror of Mechagodzilla,
As in Terror of Mechagodzilla being the better one. Yep, absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay.
Absolutely. You're not wrong, Joe.
I actually agree with you. I do think Terror of Mechagodzilla is better than Monster Zero.
Oh, I do too. Because it's more. I mean, I like it more.
Is a freaking awesome kaiju. I just have to always give shit to Eric.
Yeah.
And there are those fans. They're the fans that can never budge an inch. They're just like, I have this opinion. This is the movies that I like. This is where I'm at. If we don't discuss that, we can't talk about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a nice little 30-minute bunch of tangents, and
hey, that's
why
what
we're
these
here.
shows are for. That's why these shows are for, man. Seriously. Just kind of catching up on comments here.
Yeah, folks, thanks. You're keeping it alive tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for contributing and voicing your opinions, because we want to hear them. Honestly, we don't care we don't care if you don't like it or you do like it. We're not here to judge. We're all here because we're Godzilla fans, really.
Exactly.
Except when I say anything negative about Heisei, then everybody just jumps down Samson's throat. Yeah.
I don't agree with that one, Monster Kid, because I think 84, 85 are fantastic.
Speaking of,
yeah, good on you, Samson, for getting that. It's great. The Cybot, that's fantastic.
No, yeah, I was bummed that you guys weren't part of that unboxing, because I was like, oh man, if anybody could appreciate that, it'd be you guys. But yes, did indeed.
Summer Drift, do you live in Wisconsin, Georgia, or Illinois?
Or Texas?
Or Texas? Or New Jersey?
Yeah, exactly. Heisei is okay. Heisei is not for everybody. Hey, you're the same as Samson. Samson is not a fan of Heisei. He's only seen them all once. Maybe
that's not true. Well, I own the DVDs.
So but
84 I've only seen now 3 times. But
me and Joe grew up with Heisei, so we really do love Heisei. I've grown to like the show a little bit more than Heisei, but I still love Heisei. Like, that's just something that I grew up on, and it'll never change. So,
I mean, I did grow up with Heisei. It's just that I started with.
Is that Jordan? You could have met Jordan in Connecticut, right?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's his neck of the woods. That's
Was he a
Richiso's
Puerto
neck of the
Rican guy
woods.
with
That's
a ponytail?
They had a 64 Godzilla versus Mothra shirt. Maybe that was Jordan.
It could have been Jordan. Yeah,
Possibly. Well, that's cool.
could have been.
if he had
Yeah.
glasses, that very well.
We'll
could have
ask
been
him. We'll ask him offline if he's bumped into anybody that said that
shared that love.
they knew you.
Oh,
or knew
Michelle
us.
just commented. She said, "Yep, it was me."
Oh, which is actually Jordan right now.
Commenting through
so-
her. So
Yeah, commenting through here. So that's true. That's awesome. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I swear I had a really weird interaction a couple of years ago. No, several years ago. It was pre-COVID. I was at one of my favorite restaurants that's now closed, and this kid, he must have been like 8 or 9 years old, and he comes up and goes, "Are you Samson West?" And I was like, I am. How do you know? I watch your YouTube. I love your stuff. Can I have an autograph? I signed a napkin for this kid, and
That's awesome.
he must be like he might be in his late teens by now, but I was just like, wow, small world, weird. And I feel bad that I don't remember the kid's name now. I don't know if he even gave it to me. He just was like, I watch your stuff. I love your YouTube. So
Cool.
that's funny.
All right. I do want to get to this next piece of business here.
Did you see this real quick? Leslie, this is exactly what we said last week. Eric, do you remember when I was like, we were talking about the tones of them? Was it last week or maybe the week before?
Different like the yeah.
Are you saying like the 84 and 89 have one vibe while
Yeah.
91 through 5 have
They do.
84 and
Different.
89
Absolutely.
feel like a completely different franchise than 91 to 95.
the 91 through 95? Yeah, they kind of took a little bit of a step back and kind of went the more wacky and sci-fi route, while 84 and 85 were a little more grounded, albeit Biollante. That's not, I mean, it's a mutated plant, but it was just gene splicing. It wasn't time traveling and all that other stuff. Even I, with the limited knowledge, or I shouldn't say limited love that I have, I can agree with that comment. Actually, that's a good way to look at that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's true. The transition from villain to hero.
I mean, honestly, you could say that for the Millennium too. I mean, you have the 2, and then you have its own like standalone one. It's right smack in the middle. Then you have 2 that are supposed to be together. Then you have one whacked out one that's just completely off the wall.
The continuity with the Millennium, though, doesn't really exist. There is no continuity between those, except for against Mechagodzilla and SOS. While Heisei, those are all, the continuity is there. They all tie in with, especially with Miki, because they all go back to back to back.
Yeah. But I did want to, before we went on this tangent here, we were talking about Godzilla and crossovers and Godzilla and comic books and everything like that. And this was, I believe, the thing that Joe kind of wanted to talk about, because we kind of touched on this earlier this week and stuff. But there was a very big announcement, honestly, that Godzilla is coming back to Marvel finally after a long absence, because if you remember, Godzilla was in Marvel or made by Marvel long time ago and had its own comic book run of 24 issues. He is coming back for one-shots of him facing the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, X-Men, I think Captain America, and maybe some other ones. So this is crazy big news. I mean, we thought that the big news was Godzilla crossing over with DC was amazing. To me, I think this is even bigger, because obviously we know, with the MCU and everything and how big the superhero franchise is nowadays and stuff like that. And really, this is kind of what put the stamp on the franchise for the superheroes is the Avengers and the superheroes that were to come of that. And plus, I am a Marvel guy, not a DC guy. Even though I like both, I prefer Marvel over DC. So this is really exciting for me. I can't wait to read these. What do you guys think about this news?
So when you say one shot, you mean like they're gonna Actually, what do you mean by that?
So a one shot is just a one issue.
It's just the way he asked it. Oh, do you mean like what do you mean?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what I mean. So could you tell me what you mean, please?
It's
thank you.
One issue. It's a special issue. It doesn't run any longer. It's just one issue. It starts and stops in one comic book.
Oh, okay. It's not the okay. Understood.
Yes.
Well, I like Marvel a lot more than DC also. So this is interesting since we were so we were just talking about how they have the rights to with DC, but now they're back with he's getting love everywhere.
That's kind of what I was referring to earlier, Samson, is why I was kind of shocked by this announcement a little bit, because Legendary has the rights, partnered with Warner Brothers, who owns DC. I was surprised that there wouldn't be something in the contract between Legendary and Toho saying any comics need to be done, any comics outside of the IDW comics need to be done under the DC banner. So because obviously the IDW comic or the license, which I was thinking about this, is probably actually how they got the out for this, is because the IDW comic run of Godzilla started before the 2014 film. So I'm willing to bet that Toho had a clause in that contract saying something to the effect of, we're not going to cancel the IDW Godzilla run, so you need to give us an out in the contract when it comes to comics. And then they maybe took advantage of that with this and with the Marvel covers that we saw this year, putting Godzilla on some of the covers. So that's just my opinion, my hypothesis, that there was some type of clause or out.
And maybe this, Corey brings up a good one. This is Toho Godzilla, not MonsterVerse Godzilla.
That's irrelevant, though. Like, if somebody owns, if you're licensing Godzilla, you're not, like, if I'm Legendary, my contract is saying, hey, you can't do this. Like, just as Toho used the loophole of, cool, we're not going to let anybody else make a Godzilla movie, but we didn't say that we're not going to make a Godzilla. So they made Shin Godzilla, or then they made Godzilla -1, or they made Singular Point. Like, they found the loophole in the contract. Like, okay, well, no other, foreign entity is making Godzilla. But yeah, I don't think there is such a thing as Toho Godzilla or MonsterVerse Godzilla.
Yeah, I think it's just Godzilla as the whole. Yeah. Toho owns that character as a whole,
right,
depending on what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if the partnership with Legendary and Warner Brothers and Toho comes to an end, Legendary can't continue to make Godzilla movies because they have a different design. The license and the name of Godzilla is Toho's.
No, I see. I get what you're saying for sure. Yeah, it's the contracts exist, and once the contracts are null and void between Legendary, Toho can still do whatever the hell they want to, but Legendary no longer has those rights. They can't continue on any further.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Joe, me and you talked about this, before, where I think with them being in DC and connected to Warner Brothers and Legendary and all that stuff, and then them coming over and doing this, I'm pretty sure Toho's like, we're gonna do whatever we want with our license and our character, so you can't tell us that we can't go to Marvel and do this or do that, or go to somebody else and do this and do that. They're probably very smart with, because let's be honest, they were very, very stingy about letting Godzilla go to other IPs and stuff like that, and leasing out this character to anybody, until they've recently, in the last year or so, where they restructured the Godzilla like IP over here in the West, where they have this younger group of people who are making kind of those decisions or helping out Toho on what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and this and that, or this is a good idea, that's a bad idea, whatever. I think it's because they really wanted to push the name Godzilla over here in the States that we're getting this kind of stuff and all these different IPs and everything, because let's be honest, they would never do this 10 years ago because they were very protective over the character, over his lineage, over anything, like, and they still are. There's still stipulations to what you can do with Godzilla once you get the license and stuff like that. There's certain things that you cannot do, and they won't ever sign off on them. So you have to be okay with that. So this makes sense because of the new regime, I guess you could call it, especially over here in the US, on how they're handling Godzilla and the IP.
Right. It's interesting for sure. I'm excited for it. That's it a little bit out of left field for me, but it's something I'm excited for. I mean, like I said, kind of at the beginning, more Godzilla is best Godzilla, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say too, like, I wonder, you know, if this also was allowed because what was it after Godzilla vs. Kong, the license ended and then they renewed it for one more film. So, you know, maybe there was some tweaking after GVK that allowed openings for this, you know, type of stuff. Not necessarily this specific thing, but you know, more license opportunities, more you know, just things in general for maybe it allowed more things to be written, you know, signed off on by Toho than having to have like a partnership with like Legendary or Warner Brothers specifically type of thing. Because we have seen a lot more Godzilla related merchandise in the past 3 years than in the prior, you know, years of the Monsterverse. So
yep, exactly. And I just wanted to share a couple of tidbits and info that we did learn about this comic book and everything like that. That one of the biggest things is that they're going to have Galactus in this comic. Obviously, it'll probably be for, I don't know if it's going to be like Godzilla versus Galactus, or Galactus will be like in the Fantastic Four issue or something like that. But what we learned is that if you know Galactus, he has heralds that basically do his bidding. And one of the most well-known herald that Galactus has is Silver Surfer. In this run, or this one shot, whenever that happens, one of the heralds for Galactus is going to be King Ghidorah. Yeah. Dun, dun. Like, I see your face, Samson, but it is, he is going to be doing the bidding for Galactus in whatever issue they're going to be in. And which is pretty freaking awesome, dude.
Ghidorah always has seemed to be a rental kaiju. Just any alien race that wants to use him can use him. The first film, the second film, he's a rental kaiju. They just they offer him out to anybody to go do some bidding whenever they want to. I mean, Godzilla vs. Gigan, he is a used rental in that one. So,
yeah. Then you have to think of Zone Fighter. He was a rental in that.
Oh
one.
My God! Right. I just came up with that. I shit you. I've never even, that thought hasn't crossed my mind until just now. He's a rental kaiju.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really neat. I can't wait to see these mashups and everything like that. And obviously, too, if nobody knew right now going on, actually Marvel has the license with Subaraya, so they're actually doing Ultraman and Marvel right now run. So who knows? Maybe we'll have like a triple crossover, which we could have Godzilla, Subaraya, or Ultraman, and Avengers or something from Marvel, kind of mixed in together or something like that. Who knows?
What's intriguing me is, sorry.
No, go ahead, Samson.
I'm interested what across the eras, as it says at the very bottom there. So that means he's gonna different timelines, like different versions of
what
heroes.
I'm thinking too.
Like
that's what
OG
I'm thinking
Fantastic
too. Different
Four,
versions and everything like that. Maybe even different
new
Godzilla
Avengers
versions. Maybe
that
we'll
does
get
intrigue me.
King Goji versus the Hulk or some shit.
I'm still waiting for a Godzilla Pacific Rim comic.
That
has been a crossover people wanted to see for a while.
You know what? I'm gonna call it as one of the last shows of 2024 that this is my 2025 projection, is that we will be getting in some way, shape, or form a Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover.
Legendary, man. I mean,
so that's actually one of the things that I want to talk about today. I don't know if you're actually planning on talking about it later, Eric, or
not. Depends on what you're talking about. It might be the news that we discussed last week.
Oh yes, possibly. Because I wasn't there. The Sony.
Yes, we talked.
Okay,
that was one of our topics.
Okay. Yeah,
but you can give your thoughts on what you think of it.
I won't rehash too long since y'all already talked about it last week. I'll just say I know that there's been like the chatter of Sony buying Katakawa, and I personally am for it. It's to me, not that their main focus by any shape or way or form would be Gamera per se, but at least there would be new eyes on that franchise to possibly spark some new life into it or do something different, because as much as I loved Gamera Rebirth, it doesn't look like we're getting a sequel. So Gamera, I feel like, is unfortunately teetering on that edge of falling into the abyss forever or for a very, 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 very long time. And I don't want to see that happen, because I do think that Gamera has his place in this stratosphere or this pantheon of kaiju movies and films and franchises. I'll be honest with you guys right now. I'm not the biggest fan of the Gamera Showa Gamera films by any stretch of the imagination, but I love the Heisei films and I like Gamera the Brave. So I think those 4 films alone have done enough for the kaiju universe, and I'm a big fan of Gamera Rebirth. And I think those 4 films and that series have done a lot of positive for the kaiju community and toku community. So I would love to see that franchise continue in some way, shape, or form, whether that means a new company bringing new life into it, or maybe that new company, the head of Sony calls Toho and says, "Hey, we don't want Gamera. We're not doing anything. Give us $10 million and it's yours." And maybe Toho buys Gamera, and Gamera does not ever have his own franchises anymore, but he's now a monster that'll show up in the Godzilla movies. He's the Japanese Kong. So when the Japanese Godzilla movie wants to have a buddy for Godzilla that once started off as a rival, they don't have the type of money to pay for Kong, so they're going to use Gamera. Cool. Like, I don't know, just spitballing it, throwing it out of my ass here a little bit, but I'm for the sale. I hope it happens, because I just obviously don't think that we're going to get much out of Gamera where it stands now, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I was talking about last week and everything, where it doesn't seem too good unless Sony really kind of does take that. Now, I read the actual article where saying that Sony is really focusing on the manga and the anime portion of Katakawa. That's like what they really, really want. But Katakawa is saying you have to buy all or nothing. kind of thing. So, but obviously, kind of Gamera is kind of rolled into that anime kind of ball, I guess you could say, just because they did do an anime of it. So it would be possible that if they do get the rights, that maybe something can come of that anime style ish. Maybe probably not live action, but more, I would say, the anime route and everything. So, but yeah, I'm all for it too. I want them to do it. I want them to pull the trigger, grab it, and maybe get some fresh eyes on the character and maybe see what they can do, especially with what we've been talking about with this kaiju boom and how popular kaiju, the name kaiju, honestly, as a whole is, and how popular it is right now. So it would be nice. But
I mean, look at that teaser for Gamera. What was that, in 2015?
Yeah, the San Diego Comic-Con trailer.
Oh, gosh. Like
what could have been?
The Heisei Gamera films, I mean, that felt like it was going to be a continuation of that seriousness and the actual like real world implications in a kaiju. That's what I feel like is really missing in kaiju films, is that there doesn't seem to be a real world sense of dread. We definitely got it in the promotion leading up to 2014, but I don't feel like it lived up to it in the actual movie itself, and the rest of the MonsterVerse didn't fit in that vein either. But -1 did have that sense of like this is a world changing event, and I feel like the Heisei films, for Gamera kind of had that feel, especially like the third one. Mostly probably because of the way it ended, right? But yeah, I don't know. I man, that teaser was pretty impressive.
I think the one that we probably got the closest to was Godzilla, King of the Monsters, where it was more world destruction because all the kaiju were running amok because of King Ghidorah and everything like that. And you saw, the battlefield of like Washington D.C. when the Argo was coming in and stuff like that. But you wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see more of that. It was cool when you saw the kaiju coming out of their hibernation, they're destroying shit and everything, or when Rodan, flies over Brazil or wherever it was, Puerto Rico, wherever the hell country it was, and just blows everything away. Like, that was great. That was world ending, world threatening kind of experience. And they kind of went away from that with the next two and stuff like that, but rightfully so, I guess, because they were mashing the two together, so to speak. So, but
you know what movie I thought the presence was felt the entire movie, the sense of dread, the sense of, hey, like humanity's on the ropes, and is Pacific Rim, the first one. Like you felt the hey, because like to me, like one of my complaints is like, okay, the events of 2014 happen, and then in the next film, everyone's just, I'm going grocery shopping, I'm playing in the park, I'm doing, and I understand that like the whole world wouldn't change just because of one event, but like I want to see some things change, and I thought Pacific Rim did a very good job of showing like, hey, like this is it. If we don't win, this is it, so.
So before we go, I just want to do one more thing. And Oscar mentioned this, and I just thought of it. We'll have to save this for another time because I know we could go kind of long on this topic, especially me and Joe, because it means kind of a lot to us and everything. So we'll have to save that for next time. But I did want to do one more thing that we can kind of talk about real quick. Was a announcement for
this is what I had on the tip of my tongue. I was like, we're going to talk about this.
Start us off, Samson.
This is the announcement that I was familiar with because my whole Facebook was just spammed with this the other day, and I was just like, oh wow. This has been kind of a big deal in the kaiju community because this came out on Blu-ray. God, what was it? Maybe 10 years ago or so. It wasn't a Kraken release. Now it's like one of the rarest Blu-rays of all time from Godzilla. Yeah. It's expensive as hell. So unless you already have the copy, I can't believe that I don't. I remember seeing it at Best Buy and being like, I'll get that next time. Next time never came. And now it's yeah. I do have a DVD of it, but DVD. Looking good, Joe. So this is a big deal. But people that are smarter than I is, when is this coming to fruition? When is this actually hitting shelves and pre-orders and something that can be on our movie shelves?
I believe a little hard to see. It's supposed to be coming out in March of next year. So very soon. But
as somebody that is revisiting the Heisei stuff again, like I just watched 84 the other night, and it was good. It's not my favorite standalone film. -1 is that's gonna always supersede that from now on. To see Biollante again, especially in super high quality, I'm excited. I'm not gonna say boo to it.
Yeah. And this is kind of my complaint, because they've been teasing this for a while from Criterion about doing a Heisei set, because they did the Showa set already, and they have all the rights for all the Heisei right now. They even have all the movies on their Criterion channel and everything like that. They actually have gave the rights or partnership with Max. So Max actually has these movies on their streaming service. They actually took the Heisei films and a lot of the Showa films off of Pluto TV because they lost the contract. So there's a lot of Godzilla films that aren't on Pluto anymore. So I just wish they would have done the set like they've been talking about for a very long time. And I actually thought we were going to get something announced on Godzilla Day, honestly. But we just didn't. And now we're almost at the end of the year, and obviously we're not going to get anything. And so fingers crossed that maybe next year, and I really, really hope that they bring out a whole set and they don't do these individually, then do a set, because that's just ridiculous. But I'm excited for
films.
Yeah.
Versus the 15 that came out for Showa.
I have the 4K Japanese release of this film already, but it doesn't have the dubbed. I grew up on dubs. As much as people hate the dubs and everything like that, I don't care. I love the dubs because that's what I grew up on. That's what I know. I have memorized that shit like from day one. So like, I don't care. I will watch dubs over subs any day of the week. So, but
I'm super excited for this. I would actually prefer them individually.
Yeah,
because
I just think it's easier. Like, I mean, to not necessarily to display, but like, I don't know. I would probably get both. I would get the collection and them individually, but I would prefer them individually. I actually hope that they also individually do the Showa films like this with the 4K ultra high definition.
4K is different, I guess, yeah, because they did Blu-ray, but this is going to be a 4K, so this is going to be the highest quality possible.
Yeah, because I actually didn't know what the hell UHD was. They were like, "Oh, 4K UHD," and I was like, "MWA elemental P." Like, what is all this?
Ultra high definition.
Yeah. So I mean, that's super cool. Like, me personally, I'm more of a, what one movie, one release type of thing. But that's just me.
Well, that makes it where everybody can get what they want, because some people are stingy and like, I don't need the whole set. I just want to pick and choose what I like. They can buy
Nathaniel.
Somebody play some death metal music right now. It would be cool. I don't know. I mean, the last time that I saw this, it was DVD quality. So
really?
Yeah, that's all I have. I only have the DVD of Godzilla vs. Biollante, and
you have Max, and this is on Max, and that is Blu-ray quality.
But it's in Japanese.
Well, I understand, but you've seen it with Blu-ray quality.
Oh, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't watched it on Max.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I haven't popped it on yet. No.
Oh, so you have the opportunity to watch it on Blu-ray, but you just haven't.
I know.
But I will say the 4K is pretty. It's pretty.
Enticing because what's the term? Somebody said, I'm a quality queen. Is that what somebody has said before? I think Eric is the one that was originally the quality queen. So
size queen and quality queen, baby.
I'm if I can watch it in the highest definition I can, I want to, because I like seeing things crystal clear. And it's like, oh my God, I can see textures that I've never seen before. Oh, there's the holes in the suit. Never noticed that before now.
Yep. You get all that, dude, with 4K. You get strings. You get all that.
Yeah, that's true. Strings.
But I still love it. I love it.
Do we know, is this going to be like a little like kind of like book release or steel book type release, or is it just like a normal Blu-ray case?
Ooh, steel book.
Special features.
What does it say there?
You know what I'm talking? You know how sometimes the Blu-rays, they'll come in like the square, more like bookend type stuff.
I don't know if I do.
No, it doesn't say. I'm assuming this is going to probably have like a slipcase.
Okay.
But I would say that's about it. It doesn't say anything about it being like steelbook or special edition or anything like that. It's just has extra features on it from making of, documentary, deleted scenes, TV spots, new English subtitle translation, new audio. Obviously, you'll have the Blu-ray and the 4K version in this release. You'll get an essay by science fiction horror expert Jim Cirinella.
Ugh.
And TV spots and trailers. So yeah, just a lot of bonus stuff you're gonna get with this, with the higher grade.
This is a great point by Dougzilla75, and I don't like the compilations because the DVD or Blu-rays can get scratched and you lose all that are on the disc. So yeah, that did seem to be a big problem that a lot of people had with the original Criterion release of the discs themselves coming loose, the glue getting on them. And that is kind of annoying too. And also, I don't know, I mean, I like the, give me the
individuality.
Yeah.
Well, it may have been discussed here already, or I brought it up on some show. It was actually a very easy fix. People thought that it destroyed the disc when it slowly seeped into the, I think it was like glue gun glue. It was all you had to do, equal parts warm water and rubbing alcohol, and it came right off. It did not destroy the disc. It did not ruin it. There was no chemical problems. It fixed it right away. So it was very easy, but that was a big issue. I don't have that, but I have a 8-disc separator, or 8 discs, 8-disc separator for my Showa collection, the original collection.
Off, Eric.
Yeah, where'd you get your fancy little book there, huh?
No, he's going off because of what Corey said. Of like, oh, you should take them out. And the same thing that Eric says too. You should put them in their own thing. No, because if I'm spending the fucking money for something, I shouldn't have to take an extra step. That's the whole point. Shut up, Eric.
To each their own.
No, I agree with that. Sure. Okay, you want to put it in a bookcase, you want to put it in like a CD carrying thing or whatever. Yeah, that's great. But the fact of the matter is that you shouldn't have to do that if you're paying.
You shouldn't have to.
If you're paying $100, $200 for a collected release or whatever, like I should be able to go in there and open it up at any time that I want. I'm not saying in 100 years, but like, for a good long time and not have to worry about it.
The only problem with that book, that gigantic book that they came in, is you can't really put that on the shelf.
Yeah, it's
you'd have to have a very dedicated spot for that, which, I mean, for $15, I got this 8 separator disc on Amazon for the Showa collection. I just don't have that cool cover that Eric has.
And yeah, I agree with Nathaniel's here. Like I've seen it done. It happens on Bai and stuff like that, where they will take the whole collection and will sell them individually and just get more money for them. It just happens.
I'm surprised they didn't get August Ragone to do something on it instead of who was that girl you talked about, Eric? Who was the girl? I missed it.
I don't remember. I guess.
Oh.
Moving on.
I'm too dumb, I guess.
Yes, you are, Samson.
Anyways, I think that'll conclude our episode 7 of Let's Talk Raw, which the whole time I had the wrong background, and I never even knew it. So.
Oh my god, I didn't notice either.
Thanks a lot, co-host. Thanks a lot.
Hey, in my defense, I was late. That should have been caught by your wingman this episode, Samson. So
that's
Samson, you're fired.
But it's still a lot of fun and everything like that. Thank you all for tuning in, for chiming in the chat. It's always a lot of fun talking to you guys and just having these conversations and stuff. What is this clown shit?
Exactly.
We don't know. We're just here.
I just work here.
Oh, I keep taking that. Sorry. Okay.
Doug, I wrote it in the chat. So it is a 3-foot by 6-foot model kit of Godzilla 1989, and that's what this big guy is here. So, but yeah,
well, awesome.
With that, you guys have any parting words you guys want to say?
Not really. Just
No?
that we have to do a certain something before we sign off. What do we like to say? What do we like to do?
Joe, do you have anything you want to say?
The only thing I'll say is that our next free giveaway to all of you lovely individuals will be at the 1,000 subscriber mark once we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys are watching through our Facebook Live or our Twitter Live or X Live, whatever it's called, or anything of that nature, and you guys haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, in order to win a 100% free giveaway, we buy the items and ship them to you 100% free of charge to you. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's at Monsters with Attitude on YouTube. Also, follow us on all of our social medias. That's another thing that's not up is our banner. What is going on? We are falling apart.
What is going on here, people?
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or the platform formerly known as Twitter, X, Instagram, Spotify, Twitch, and I don't know, probably something else too that I can't think of. Yeah, follow us on all of our social media so you can stay up to date with all of our most recent shows and guests. We really haven't had too many guests lately. The holidays and stuff has just been absolutely killer for all of us, especially me. I work for the post office, so it's just absolutely bonkers crazy. We do have a few guests coming up at the beginning of the year, and we'll probably start tackling that again in the next couple months once things start to die down. But yeah, that's all I can think of. If I don't see or talk to anybody, I'll see you two. But for all the listeners and stuff, if I can't make it on the next show, I wish you guys all a very safe and blessed and happy Merry Christmas. I hope Santa brings you everything that you guys want. I hope you guys get to enjoy it with family and friends, and it's just a good time and a safe time. And if I don't see you even further than that, have a happy and blessed New Year.
Well, you big damn teddy bear.
I did want to point out that our next show coming up is next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, the 21st. And we are going to be talking about the 30th anniversary of Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, which is right here. So check us out there at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 1 p.m. Pacific time. And we can talk more about Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. We talked a little bit about it today because we were talking about the S20. Oh my God, MMS.
You got it.
Godzilla 94.
Easy
Good
for
Lord.
you to say.
Yeah, no shit. And everything. So if you want to talk more about Space Godzilla and celebrating Godzilla's space brother thing,
Yeah, it's just
I
it's a
always
stepbrother.
consider it as evil brother. I always do.
yeah, kind of thing.
Stepbrothers.
You know, so-
I mean, it's
Yeah.
got the same dad.
So tune in with us this Saturday, and we can have a lot of fun talking about Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. That's our next show. And then obviously next week, we should be back on here again for another episodic episode talking about hopefully more Godzilla news, or if there isn't a lot of news, maybe we'll just take questions from the audience and the commenters and everything and go from there.
It worked.
Yes,
It worked
yes,
well.
Joe.
Isn't our next show next Sunday Space Godzilla?
No.
Is it Saturday?
It's Saturday. Saturday.
What does that look?
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 21st.
Oh yeah.
Which is-
Shoot. Okay, yeah. There's a very, very good chance I will not be here then, unfortunately, which really breaks my heart because
Oh, you were the host.
I know Jordan's I had him take it over for me. It's just too crazy. I thought it was Sunday, which I was like, oh, maybe there's a chance I'll be able to make it. So truthfully, I probably won't see everybody before Christmas unless I'm able to pop on next Sunday, but I don't know. So truthfully, Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. Have a bunch of goodies. And
Yeah. So we'll have two shows next week. Space Godzilla, and then we'll be right back here. Let's talk Raw. And then follow us on our Twitch. We do have a couple people here that are from Twitch, Doug and Shingeki. We usually do gaming and movie nights on our Twitch channel on Saturday, so we might do something over there. Who knows? We'll see. It's in the works because we do have our show and everything on Saturday. So we'll see
around that. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So just you want more kaiju news or whatever you want to talk about kaiju, anything kaiju, subscribe to our social medias so you're always up to date. So with that, we're gonna get out of here. I'm Eric. That's Samson. That is Joe. And of course, don't forget to embrace the attitude.